before we get into the video that you're about to watch about the Super Maxx sanding drum type thing that I did a video on a while back, when I originally bought it, it came as a kit with the drum and a bunch of belts. Right as I was getting ready to post that video, it went out of stock. So I've been sitting on that video for a couple of months now, waiting for it to come back into stock. Now it looks like it's been discontinued because nobody has it anywheres. So it's a cool product. I've used it quite a few times at work, and I like what it does and how it works. But yeah, I didn't want to just flush that thing down the toilet just because the thing I bought isn't available anymore. But you can still get the actual drum with the sander belt that goes around it with one, and then you could buy the actual sander belts separately to go with it. Just wanted to let you know that. So in the description, I'll link those two things. And like I said, the kit's no longer available. It's no longer going to be available. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Me in the past talking to you in the past. Timeline gets all screwed up. That's why time travel is impossible. Watch the video. So in today's video, we will be looking at the Super Maxx expanding wheel. And they put 2 X's in the word Max, which makes that word twice as cool. That's how the math works, I guess. But yeah, basically what this tool is just a big chunk of rubber, from what I can see, that you could put a sanding belt on, and it turns your 4.5 inch or 5 inch, I guess it really doesn't matter as long as the arbor is the same size, into a belt grinder or a belt sander. I'm not 100% sure. Normally when I'm buying stuff for this channel, I'm kind of upgrading or replacing an existing tool, and this just kind of falls under the let's take a look at that factor or category. And yeah, so not 100% sure what I'd use it for, if it's better than my old go-to, which is a sanding disc or a flap disc that have been around for a while. So yeah, let's take it out of the box and take a look down on it and see what we think, and then maybe we'll go out to the truck and do a little head-to-head with the Old Faithful and this thing, and see how they compare. So this is it in the box. I don't know if I forgot to mention, but it is made in China or Western Taiwan, and basically what you get is a variety of belts and the actual sander disc thingy. Now the different grits you get with the, I guess it would be a starter kit, you get 36, 40, 80, and 120, and they're all just kind of packed up in here. Looks like it really doesn't say which is which. I guess you got to be lucky on finding where it's cut, but I mean, I'm sure we could figure that out. I would like to add, which was kind of a, oh crap, I should have checked that moment. This is 5/8/11. A lot of the grinder adapters you get off of online that are coming out of China, they'll use the standard, which is some metric size, but it is a 5/8/11 threads onto things. So North American grinders, it will fit on. Now, as far as how the setup goes, let's grab the 80 grit, because that's the flapper disc we're gonna compete against here. I will say I did look the replacement belts for these. They sell them in packs at 10 for about 20 bucks. So you're looking at about $2 a belt. But yeah, from what I see, you just kind of deflect these little fingers on this here rubber wheel and kind of just slide her on. Not bad. Alright, then you got like a little belt slash drum sander thing. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the flapper disc, I think everyone who's ever used a grinder has probably used one of these. I bought this particular one at Harbor Freight. Not knowing that it was 10 bucks, I wouldn't have spent 10 bucks for this. But I was too proud when the guy rang it up for me to say, hey, I don't want that, it's too expensive. So I bought it anyway. But yeah, so I mean basically the concept is with this guy you're grinding flat like this, going back and forth, and this guy you're turning up on edge. Again, can't think come to mind as a use for this compared to this. I mean, maybe for clearance reasons, if you got to go up on edge, you know, you can't quite get it on this angle with the flapper disc, where this guy would kind of go like that. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure where it would come in handy, but it might be one of those things where, you know, I'm in a situation and I'm like, hey, I got that thing, and it actually comes in handy. I don't know. Like I said, I just thought it was kind of cool, so I'm checking it out. Now, I will say, aside from the whole angle of the dangle benefit going on with this thing, you will get a little bit more surface speed on the outside of the grinding wheel as compared to this, where you're kind of more in the inside. It won't be much of a difference, but I mean, maybe. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. And I mean, they do make grinding discs, stone style ones, that you grind on the outside with, but those, you know, they always leave a horrible finish, and then you got to come back at them with this. So maybe that would be a use case for this thing. So yeah. Now for me, most of my grinding is done on metal, and usually it's removing paint and removing bad welds. I just took some scrap metal out of the scrap bin there and just kind of threw beads on it. I mean, keep the laughter to a minimum. I wasn't trying to make nice welds. I was just trying to give me something to grind down. I didn't even change the settings on the welder. Like, this is way too fast, and that's, yeah, not hot enough. So, yeah, all that aside, disclaimer aside, yeah, so I'm thinking what we'll do is just kind of go out to the van, throw this guy in the vise, give, I don't know, 30 seconds each side with each sanding implement here, and see how the two compare. If I've said in the past, I'm a visual guy and I like to see how things work, and yeah, maybe that'll kind of give us an idea of a good use case for this thing. So yeah, let's head out to the van and get to making some noise. So I decided to run an extra 30 seconds of overtime just so I can kind of get a better feel for this thing. You can see here with the flapper disc, it does what flapper discs do. This isn't a scientific test. This is just kind of a shooting from the hip type test. I just kind of, like I said, wanted to get a feel for it and see what they would do compared to each other. But yeah, we kind of wiped the high points off of that horrible weld I put on the thing. But for the most part, it's not really digging into the surface there. Now moving on to the D for drum, which would be this guy, and like I said, it's not scientific, but I mean, you could see where I was removing some pretty good material there for 60 seconds worth of grinding. This particular weld wasn't as high as this one, but I mean, it was wider, and I mean, another, you know, 30 seconds, and I'm pretty sure I could have made that flush. Got some nice porosity in that weld there too. But yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, at least in this unscientific comparison. Now, as far as the actual abrasive wear, the flapper disc is gonna win every time, no matter what. Just simply because you have all this material, so as you grind it down, it wears down and gives you fresh material to grind on. I will say these things are never cut as good as they do when you first get them, because there's always that little soft edge on them as they're wearing down. Just a personal observation for myself. But yeah, I mean, there's still some definite life left in this guy. Moving on to the drum side, or the Super Maxx side, it's got some nice material left on the actual belt there. Looks like I was leaning a little more on this side than this side when I was grinding, but yeah, I mean, it did all right. So there we go. That is the Super Maxx expanding wheel grinder attachment thing. Yeah, it seems like it's decent enough, and I will like to say that I was wearing gloves while I was running my grinder. I don't know where this all started. Well, I kind of know where it started. It was probably some fake blue-collar guy on YouTube that misunderstood OSHA regulations. It is okay to wear gloves while running hand tools. It is not okay to wear gloves while you are running power tools that are, mounted to a floor, like a lathe or a milling machine or a drill press, because it'll suck your hand in and rip your arm off. With a handheld power tool, that's not the case. Like I said, I don't know where that started, but anytime anyone's wearing gloves in one of my videos, or if I'm wearing gloves in my videos, there's always that one person saying you shouldn't be wearing gloves. That's not the case. But back on topic, yeah, I mean, it seems like a decent enough tool. It does what it's supposed to do as far as grinding. It's a little cheaper than the flapper disc, but it's also going to wear out faster. So 6 one, half dozen another. I don't know. I will say with the drum, it does seem like it removes material a little bit faster. Going, what is it, 80 grit to 80 grit? Is there 80 grit? Yeah, 80 grit to 80 grit. So, yeah, I mean, decent enough. I'm going to throw it in the truck, see if I can find some uses for it. Like I said, the angle of the dangle when you're grinding, that might come in handy. If any of you guys are using one of these or have a use case for it, leave it down in the comments. I'm kind of curious to see what anybody else's experience with these things are. But one of the things I was worried about was this little belt here, just kind of flying off while you're grinding, but it didn't seem like that was the case. But yeah, it seems decent enough. Can't complain about anything with it. So yeah, I'll leave a link to this down in the description if you're interested in giving it a try. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old comments section. I'll do my best to get back to you, and I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.